Hello, my name is Juanita Martinez, and welcome to my presentation. This is my presentation on my lesson design. So, my design project is going to answer the question or solve the problem: which Spanish speaking country has a healthier diet and why? And so, when we look at why we chose this problem in Spanish 1, we need to ensure that students are reading, writing, speaking, listening, in the target language for real world situations. And so the first thing that students will need to do is research different meal times and answer the questions in the target language. They will have a set of questions that they will need to answer. Um, the next thing we'll do is have the students reflect on their findings in English um, in order to help our district's literacy initiative. And we can help them target that through having them write in English. Um, and we also want students to solve the problem through research um, of themselves and of their classmates. So the learners will gain research skills, writing skills, presentational skills, and collaboration and communication skills through solving this problem. For research skills, we will partner with the librarian in the library so that she can help them gain adequate research skills, use the different databases that are available to the students so that they can have some good quality resources that they can use for their presentation. For writing skills, again, we want to help that literacy initiative in our district. And so we want the students to grow their writing skills both in English and Spanish, particularly our students that are native speakers already are that tend to be weak in English because they don't really have a concept of their own language through reading and writing, that they really never built the strong foundation that they should have for English as well. And so it's really not just helping the non-native speakers, but also helping the native speakers as well. And then, of course, presentational skills, which is an important 21st century skill that they must have. And they'll deepen their presentational skills by presenting their findings. And we're giving them the option of either presenting it live in class, or they can do it through a pre-recorded presentation. And then lastly, their collaboration and communication skills. Again, 21st century skills that these students must be leaving with um, as they graduate high school. And so as they work together to find their information um, and create their presentations, they are also honing in on their collaboration skills, as they must communicate effectively with each other in order to complete a well thought out, informative, and effective presentation. Next, how does it fit into Spanish? And of course, the Texas TEKS were just changed a couple years ago. And so now the Texas TEKS are now aligned with the national standards, which ACTFL is the organization that has those measures and those standards. And so now the state of Texas is now aligned directly with ACTFL. And so with this food and health unit. We started this unit about a week and a half before spring break. The project incorporates all three modes of communication, which both ACTFL and the new TEKS state. They must be able to have interpersonal communication, presentational communication, and interpretive communication. So they must be able to have conversations with each other or with other people in the target language. They must be able to present information in the target language, and they must be able to interpret any readings or any audios to be able to communicate in the target language. And the students will need to do all of these things for the presentational mode, of course, by the students presenting their findings. That helps with the presentational speaking portion of it. The interpersonal portion, again, is they will have to have conversations with each other. And for the interpretive mode, this will come in when the students need to read articles from their assigned country, as well as listen to interviews, commercials, or shows from their country as well. And these will be they'll be able to find these resources through YouTube and Spanish-speaking networks such as Univision and other um, online avenues that they will have access to. This project design was developed by the Rockwell Heath Spanish One team. So it was myself and two of my colleagues that created this project together. We've spoken extensively over what it is that we're asking the students to do. And of course, our concern is always, I think, for any teacher, is always going to be, do we have enough time to really get quality work from these students? And so as we look at what these students are being asked to do, this is what they will be receiving come Wednesday. So it'll be assigned on Wednesday, and they have their problem, they have their goal, and then we've given them a plan of action. So we've set up the rubric, the instructions in such a fashion that makes it easy for the students to read. There really doesn't provide much uh, there's no lack of information as far as what's required from them. So here we've made it very clear these are the questions that they will need to answer in Spanish in full complete sentences. The English portion, I'm sorry, the next section here is going to be um, having the students create or use these particular grammar concepts. They also need to include this information in English. And then we see here that this is the problem that they must solve at the very end. Um, and so again, we've just broken it down. They'll need to provide a visual of some kind. Um, We've given them even a calendar so that there is no excuses. This is a calendar that also has all of the dates available to them already in Google Classroom. And then they get a rubric with a point breakdown of how much they're getting graded exactly for each of the different requirements. And then these are just kind of the pre-steps, pre-phases before they turn in their final product, so that they can so that they can ensure that they have their questions answered and completed. And then at the very end, this is where they're going to do their pre-write for their problem solving. Once they've completed this, they will have to type it up and submit it through Google Classroom. Again, having to provide information or proof from their presentations. I really enjoyed getting this project completed. If you all have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask.